Hello YouTube, your boy is on the fucking grind. I'm gonna change my LEDs in a second for the next segment. But today, man, we are here to talk about the 2021 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics race, The Eternals. We have Eternals. This is one of the more recent films we have watched here on the channel, and here we have it. Honestly, a film I have been dreading watching in this universe, but it is where everything began in our little MCU escapade that I'm probably going to go on for the next 3 months. And I do plan for like the rest of the year to watch a bunch of MCU movies. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. After this, we still have like 16 movies. I've watched most of them, but yeah, absolutely star-studded cast. You get Angelina Jolie, you get Salma Hayek, two actresses that are obviously legendary. I don't watch many films with them in it, so it's kind of awesome to see them here, kind of give them some spotlight on the channel. Probably not for some good reasons in this case, but still. We get Lauren Ridloff, the girl that was in The Walking Dead. We get the one Indian guy that was in the Ghostbusters film. I can't remember his name. I'll put it on the screen. And even a cameo late in the film from Mr. Watermelon Sugar himself, Harry Styles. Although I don't necessarily love this movie, I'm just going to put that out there right now, as most critics don't like it. I am still somewhat excited to talk about it, given it's in this universe. Let's go. You guys know how it goes. Premise, the good, the bad, the okay. Give it a review, give it a rating. So starting with the premise, just kind of a rundown of what this is about. Similar to Dune, I'm not going to lie, this was a pretty confusing plot, but the Eternals, a race of immortal beings with superhuman powers who have secretly lived on Earth for thousands of years, reunite to battle the evil deviants. That's all this movie is. That's literally the plot of the movie. It seems simple enough, obviously, but I still kind of like the concept to an extent. The first ever superheroes, basically the first Avengers, that's awesome in itself, and again, we will get kind of specific with what's good and what's bad about this movie. There are these deviants, and honestly, similar to a film like Dune, it is hard to follow a lot of the lore with this one, and I have a feeling that with most of these fantastical conceptual stories, I'm just not going to grasp it fully, which is fine. Obviously, there are some franchises down the line on the channel that I'm going to want to get through, talking about like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. The lore is going to get too much, maybe even Star Wars to an extent, but it's fine here, I guess, in this case. It would have certainly helped my viewing experience a little more if I would have seen like the comic books or whatever, but let's just go ahead and get into it. So starting with the good, there is good things about the movie. I'm not just going to shit on it the whole time. I mean, it is very well made. It's a very cool movie to look at. I can't stress that enough, because that is just about the only good thing about it, really. Cool set pieces, you know, the mix of cultures, the aesthetics, the weapons, the powers, the effects. For how weird I am about that video game style effect, it really worked for me, and I was just wowed. I mean, the only other situation where I've seen that type of effect, that style of special effects work for me, was in the Spider-Man series. It looks really fucking cool here, like when they're fighting, and again, it looks like you're in a video game. You have Ridloff's character running fast as hell. It looks really, really awesome. Their budget had to be through the roof on this one, obviously. There was a lot of resources put into this one. The water drops, the particle animations, it looks really fucking cool. The fight scenes really worked with that. Again, the super speed, the explosions, a movie, no pun intended, to truly marvel at. Again, Marvel is good at putting up a visual spectacle. Like, this may not be the best movie in the world, but Marvel knows how to put on a show. Great director as well, and you know, the cinematography, they clearly knew what they were doing. It's a fun setup, but we'll get to where it goes wrong later, obviously, and that is in multitude, so you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. Again, well made, good sound design and all that. The road sort of ends here. Like, if you're a creative or an artsy person and you just don't give a fuck about story, watch this. You'll love it. If you're like in film school and you're looking to study how to make good movies, how to make them look cool at least, fuck the story, this is great. I will say Kumail and Karan are a pretty awesome duo. I'll give them credit. Like, just from a character to character basis, I think those are the only two characters I truly want to give credit to. That's probably the only reason I didn't turn the damn movie off, just because of the drag of the film. Again, we'll get to that. A precious human being among gods was a pretty cool dynamic, I'm not gonna lie. Good cast. I mean, obviously the characters weren't the greatest, they weren't the most well executed, but the cast was really good. I like most, if not all, of the actors and actresses taking part in this movie. If this story was given to different characters, like if the Avengers got a storyline like this, I would have loved it way more, but we will get into the fault of the characters later on. This is just me kind of crediting just the overall concept. It just wasn't in the right hands, not with the right characters, not in the right realm of the universe. It kind of sucks to say, but getting into the bad, this is probably the biggest segment of the video. I mean, I just never grasped what the fuck was going on in this film. Not that it's super confusing, but it's just like, I didn't care. I get like the first heroes ever go through time, different cultures, save different people from these aliens. That's a fun concept, but why are we doing this? In this universe, we already have heroes that form a group, the fucking Avengers.
Oh, you should have read the comic books.
Again, to all you fucking nerds out there, I am not that type of Marvel fan. I am here for the fucking movies. Fuck books, fuck all that shit. I am sorry. Why should I care? It took them them all this time to basically make the prequel of the whole MCU. So, sorry, don't care. What are these weapons? Who is Erishim or whoever the fuck? How did these things become Eternals? And not to say an origin story needs more origin lore, but what is the Ebony Blade? Why do Deviants, Eternals, Celestials exist? This is a pretty lesser known realm of the MCU, of the just Marvel Universe in general, and they didn't really do a very good job of it explaining much. Kind of just got into it. I mean, they didn't dive into that enough. Also, they just don't seem necessary in general, whether it be this film or the comic books. I guess the comic books are fine, but why are they here? Why do we need a movie about this? Tell me in the comments, please. I would love to hear it. Give me some fucking justification for this. There's been plenty of examples of non-flagship Marvel characters succeeding in cinema, and this is just not it. Aliens in general, too. It's the fantasy effect that will kind of get a strike from me. It's kind of bleh. That's just too far out of reality. No, I don't believe in them, so screw off. Not a fun movie to watch, to be honest with you. I could see the theater potential that it has, but at home, all alone, absolutely not. I'll probably never watch this again. I won't watch this again. It's not a probably. It's 100% not going to watch it again. Harry Styles making a cameo was stupid as well. Sure, you're putting a celebrity in your movie to sell tickets and to put a little surprise in there. I don't know. And the fact that they're trying to milk a realm of the MCU that shouldn't be there with the whole they will return in. No, stop it. Cut it out. This needs to be a standalone Eternals film. We don't need a second one. Trust me. Another bad thing. These could possibly be the most generic superheroes ever. Just absolute knockoffs of DC and Marvel superheroes alike. It almost feels like The Boys, but a serious movie. Not as much satire, you know. Icarus is basically Homelander. Angelina Jolie's character is basically Erin Moriarty, whatever her character was in The Boys. Druig is the weird Aquaman dude. He just reminds me of him. I don't know. And so on. You get the point. Too many superheroes with super speed nowadays, too. Can we knock it off, please? Flash, Quicksilver, and now fucking Ridloff's character. Do we really need that? I don't think so. It's a confusing movie, too, at times. That's another thing I've touched on a little bit with some of its images and what it throws at you, and maybe that attests over effects. I don't know. Not even just the story part, but just what they throw on the screen. It's just a clusterfuck. Why is this here? Sorry I'm being so negative, by the way, but they reference Thanos too at the end. They try to get you excited about this one, and it's just no, absolutely not. Thanos is fine in the Avengers. I think he might have been in the Guardians of the Galaxy film maybe at a point, but no, we don't need Thanos in this part of the universe. Let's not try to milk it, bring in a fucking cash cow. Come on. Also, it just doesn't feel like it belongs in the cinematic universe. It feels more like a Percy Jackson movie, or if they adapted the Heroes of Olympus books, made that into a bunch of films. It doesn't feel like Marvel. It feels almost too far out of the realm. Too much mythology. And obviously when you talk about mythology in the MCU, you gotta bring up Thor. And I think in his case it works because he meshes well with the Avengers and has great chemistry. And his movies were good. But this, not so much. One last thing, one major thing, the characters in general just aren't all that interesting to me, to where there are emotional moments in this film I just don't give a damn, because none of the characters are worth crying for or even feeling bad for. So it's why should I care? You know what I mean? None of the romance worked. None of the turning on your team worked out. None of the twist or whatever you want to call it in this movie worked, because it just simply wasn't that interesting. That's all for the bad. Let's move on to the okay. I could have done without humor, but it's not necessarily a bad thing in this movie. It's not terrible. They do a decent job at it. It's just not very necessary. You want to be somewhat serious, I think, in introducing these characters. You could see it as a diamond in the rough for a movie full of filler. Sure, the comedy keeps you kind of strapped in if you're not interested in the characters, but still. We know Kumail to be quite funny, as he was in the Ghostbusters movie, so for that he's probably my favorite character in this movie. And another thing, the whole political inclusion thing with the deaf and the gay people, it's fine. I didn't love or hate it. Does it seem like they're forcing politics on people? A little, but it's fine. I'm not here to be a total dickhead like some people are. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there. The least I could say is that at least it is somewhat different than the rest of the MCU, but is that really a good nor bad thing? I don't know. It is definitely a unique movie, which I'm mixed about, because on the one hand, it creates a very interesting opportunity for maybe multiple movies, but they didn't execute it well in the first place, and it's kind of too far out of the realm to where you just don't care. I don't really think it's a good or bad thing, which is why I put it in this section of the video. Also, I think the time jumping and the chronological order of of the plot also threw me off a bit and only added to the confusion that was this movie. I didn't mind the time jumping, like going to the present day, going back then, because at least they displayed it on the screen, but I'm already not familiar with these people, so why are we time jumping? It just didn't make sense for that to do. And it's kind of weird speaking on how they tell the story, because for how long this film is, it almost feels like they're playing catch up all throughout it, and that just doesn't make sense to me. How could you have a feature-length bloated movie and still not seem to have enough time to flesh out your characters properly? Not to be specific either, but some of just the decisions they go for with the characters to me was just kind of I won't spoil it though, you can thank me for that. I'm not giving any spoilers because honestly this movie really isn't memorable enough to spoil shit about it, but there you have it. So it is review time. Pull up that tier list. There's not much that could persuade me that this isn't the worst movie in the MCU. I don't think there's going to be much movies we're going to watch after this that I would consider worse. We have plenty of other first watches as well as some revisits coming down the pipeline from the cinematic universe. I just don't think any of those movies will be worse. Like, you're not going to be able to convince me again. Doesn't mean this movie is like absolutely terrible. We have certainly covered worse films on this channel, but it is just hard to grasp and hard to get through considering it is over 2.5 hours long. It took me 2 or 3 days. Whereas some other movies I could sit down in a whole sitting and watch, especially in this universe, this took me 2 whole days basically of just watching like 15 minutes at a time and being like, oh, how much time is left, you know? That kind of sucks with this. I think this should have been more of a Disney Plus TV show and not a theatrical release. I didn't really say that much in the review throughout the video, but I do think this should be a TV show. It's one of those like side plot Marvel things, kind of like what they did with Star Wars. To an extent, what they do with the DCU and what they've been doing with other Marvel movies, especially on Disney as well. I think this would have been a good TV series. Too much of a drag for introducing these characters in this universe. Also, the effects are kind of cartoony. They could have made this a Pixar-style animated TV series, and I would have liked it more, I think. Whatever, not terrible, but nowhere near good. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5.8 out of 10. It's basically an average movie. It might even be below average. You could definitely argue that case. But with that being said, I am out, guys. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoy the videos. Obviously, this was negative. If you enjoyed this movie, I'm not gonna sit here and try to be one-sided and shit on it. If you like have some redeeming qualities of it, maybe I can go back and watch it in the future and look out for that. But as of now, not one of my favorites. Definitely my least favorite in the MCU. I'm out, guys. Peace.